So hi, my name is Jessie and welcome to this music video review titled American Oxygen. I'm always tempted to say Babylon and Hidden Side. So today is part 2 of Mammon Master. If you haven't seen part 1, I would highly suggest you go watch it right after or before this one. Okay, so let me do a quick introduction. So I spoke about the term Mammon. So Mammon, when you think of Mammon, Mammon refers to money, to the material world, to material possession, and also it refers to our body because our body is physical, but the being inside is spiritual. The spirit is spiritual. But the catch is not everyone has the spirit of God. Not everyone was made in the image of God. So back in Eden, there was the prosperity of the serpent, Satan, and there was the prosperity of the woman, which is the image of God. Our body is the real currency, our body, because the temple now is the body and not the physical structure. And then when it comes to the soul, when people say they're selling their soul, the soul is in actuality blood. The soul is in actuality blood. And that's why God says not to eat the blood of animals, comme les viandes saignantes. Okay, because this is the soul, it represents the soul. And even when some people do make contracts, sometimes they join the blood together. And think of these companies like Emile, where you donate blood, okay? Even abortion, killing. So blood is really sacred. And back to the sacrifice of Jesus, God in flesh, he shed his blood so everyone who believes in him shall have everlasting life, eternal life. It's a war on the domain of God gave to the prosperity of Adam and Eve, of the woman. It's a war on light, Christ, and darkness, Antichrist. It's a war on the bloodline. So the bloodline of the serpent and the bloodline of Christ. But of course, Christ already has the victory. There's a lot of debate around the name of Jesus. So I think it's important that I clarify that. So Jesus, when you look at the etymology, Jesus, Jesus, Yeshua, je suis, I am God. Just like when he presented himself to Moses, he said, I am. His name is I am, which refers to Jesus. And even when God says, let there be light, who is the light? Jesus, the light of the world, the light of men. Okay, and man is the center of the world, the image of God, the indigène, made of the soil, okay? La terre, faite de terre. So this concept of planets, it's just a construction to deviate the fact that the center is man. And the solar system suggests that Satan, Lucifer, is the center of the universe, which is a lie. And remember one thing, Jesus is the word. Like the word, when we say the truth, the word of truth, the way, it's Jesus. So Jesus is not a man. He's literally the word in flesh, God in flesh. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God, something like this. Okay, and also another element that I would like to clarify is when we think of Phoenix, because I will be speaking about Phoenix. So Phoenix is a city in Arizona. Phoenix is a city in Arizona, but Phoenix stands for fornix, okay, fornix. And fornix stands for fornication. So what is the sin of fornication? So some people are going to say when you're not committed to someone, but you have sexual activities. But the truth is, fornication has also to do with having intercourse with demons. Okay, just like back in the days of Noah, when the women were carrying Nephilims in their belly, okay, they were carrying demons in their belly. And I can also refer the movie Rosemary's Baby. But this one is more about the birth of Antichrist, but it's just to give an idea. And This ritual was performed, so fornication was performed with, it was performed in the Caribbean, and I spoke of the FF ritual, and this was performed in the Caribbean, so they sent out demons to go to the Caribbean, have vacation, but in reality, these were like sirens, okay? And these intercourse caused AIDS, what we call today AIDS. So that's why they say that the Caribbeans or black men have AIDS. It's because they were targeting the Caribbeans when it comes to that ritual. And this is what we call also today siren, mermaids, and they're interchangeable, so both male, female, okay? Also known as the rainbow family. So this was performed for the rainbow family. Okay, also in this episode, we're talking about X. So when you think of X, okay, 45-degree rotation, it has to do with extermination, but also it has to do with the book of Exodus, the exit of the Israelites from the land of Egypt, from bondage. American oxygen.
911, what's your emergency? America.
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight.
So the Persian Empire was founded by Cyrus and brought to an end by Alexander the Great. The kings were Cyrus, Darius, Xerxes, Artaxerxes, and governed from Egypt to India. Remember, the people of Israel were brought into bondage to Egypt, and now they flee by the Red Sea. Okay, so these are the symbols of Persia. So once again, you find the eagle with one head this time, having the sun above, so the sun of darkness, of course. It's like a falcon symbol in the flag of Persia, what we call Iran today. Then here it's the same logo. We see this logo in Mini Cooper. What else? And then here is the lion in reference to the tribe of Judah, the Jamaicans, Haitian, who were taken into captivity. And see the sun in the back, taking the people à l'Orient, le soleil levant, in paradise. And they have the swords, which sort of is a blaspheme. Okay, so I think it's interesting too because in 2024, so-called Kanye West, so think West India, did a event. Let me read this. So I can't remember exactly what was this event about, but see here the logo that he used, the two heads, once again, OVO. Okay, so let's read. So of course, in reference to the beast who was healed from the wound in his head. So Kanye West goes on race rant. We're not black, we're Indian. He's right. So race is, well, he's not because he's a demon. But what we call black is in reality Indians. Us Haitians, Jamaicans, and from the Caribbean. Okay, so race is made up, which is not because race has to do with the prosperity of the woman, and the second race is the prosperity of the serpent. Wes breaking down the constructional ideology of race. In his rant, he also continued to target the Jews community with an anti-Semitic remark. So target, think of the logo. It's 60 million of us in America, 60 million Jews in the world. So 66. He said into the video obtained by TMZ, where the name drops Adolf Hitler, who wanted to exterminate the Jews, and Jesus Christ, the savior of the Jews. Jesus Christ, Hitler, yay, third party sponsor that. Bring your sponsorships to that. He said, I don't give a F. I don't give a F about life or death. I got visitation with my kids. It's like when you don't care about living or dying, it's like you lost your will. You literally lost your will. You lost your desire. I got visitation with my kids and I got no say so. Yes shares 4 children with Kim Kardashian. Kim Rich represents KKK, Daughters of North. So here we're talking about North, Chicago, Saint, and Psalm. But these has nothing to do with kids in reality. These are like codings. The two got divorced in 2002. Okay. So this is the voucher, $2,000 to come in. And it was done in Las Vegas, okay? So this is him. He's representing once again the head covered, just like Pirates des Caraïbes. So let's read Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign. I'm pretty sure Ty Dolla $ign is sort of Haitian, but remember that Kanye West comes from Chicago, and the flag of Chicago is the anti-Jew logo. So a law enforcement source tells that TMZ VMPD officers first respond to a warehousing the Vegas desert at 11:21 Thursday after getting info of a promoter was organizing a music event. At first, they were assisting with crowd control and dispersal, where the admission tickets sold for $2,000. At one point, Kanye performed with his 10-year-old daughter, Northwest. Inappropriate. Very inappropriate. Everything surrounding the album has drawn incredible controversy so far, with the I Just F a Jewish B. So they're talking about you, baby. Us, like... Oh, it's so disgusting. From the lead single, Vultures, and think of cultures, and V, it's like 5 in Roman numeral. And Ye performing at a listening party earlier this week in KKK-inspired black garb. So see, he's wearing a hood. Think of even the red little hood. Think of neighborhood, hood, ghetto. And ghetto is a system, is a structure system that started in Britain or Russia, I can't remember, in order to put the Indians, the Israelites, into blocks, okay, into apartments, to bring them in the same city, to condense them, and then to kill them better. Of course, Obama, India. So these are so-called Indians who's promoting Obama. I don't know why exactly, but Obama is the person that we say was healed, okay? He's the 2-head eagle. He's the dragon, the end-time dragon. Also depicted as Shiva, depicted as a pharaoh, Akhenaten. And see, he's representing the X. So it's like his body is like the temple of demons. Just like when they have like les sarcophages in Egypt. So they're preserving the body because they have an afterlife. But the afterlife is literally the Yoshira rituals they practice in order to give demons a body.
sorry I didn't believe you.
Can I ask you something?
What?
You know I like you, don't you?
Yes? What are you talking about?
In clean spirits. So, of course, we have to go back to Shiva, the statue that was given to CERN. So CERN being the internet company, Internet, located in Switzerland. So, of course, Switzerland, the flag is the White Cross. Well, the opposite of the Red Cross, okay? So see Shiva, destruction, multiple arms, 4 arms. There's music, the sun, the dark sun, on the dragon. Then Shiva is also represented, of course, by the Red Cross. The same as Colombia. It's all the same deity, okay, but in different image. And see the Red Cross in the middle of the forehead, just like the Hindu dot, okay, destruction. And see here, 8-8, Caribbean. Okay, the New World started around this time. And the new state, the fake state of Israel, was official in 1948. So, of course, Rihanna is depicting the same. So think of Hitler's ideal and David Bowie's ideal, the blue eyes, blonde hair. But this time, she has the blue eyeshadow and she has red lipstick. Think of blood, okay, drinking blood. So Rihanna wears shirt Dior at Sarah Sakol. Bra, the bra she's wearing is Savage X Fenty, but literally she has no bra on. I don't see no bra, but okay. X, that's the point. And this was for Interview Magazine. So see the X, okay? X, think of the chromosome, think of the prosperity of the serpent and the prosperity of the woman. And in this photo, she's depicting the China dolls. These are like voodoo dolls, in other words. Voodoo dolls. And think of the celebrity as like voodoo dolls, but in real life. Like real life, well, as AI, maybe robots who performs, but these are in reality voodoo dolls, just like the museum, the wax museum. Well, the same principle. All the figures that you see in the wax museum can be used as voodoo dolls to inhabit demons. So the same short hair, the blue eyes, the red lipstick. Then, of course, see the doll here. Okay, the doll in the back. So this is Michelle Lamé. She's behind most of the fashion. Well, she's behind the fashion that we see on celebrities, her and her so-called husband. So Michelle Lamé for Vogue cover issued in November 2010. So she is smoking. Think of I Can Breathe. Okay, that's the goal, to destroy the Jews. She's also wearing, like, she looks like sort of a witch nun. A nun, but a witch. The dark lips. And of course, this is a depiction of the Sphinx. So the same hat that you see here that looks like the pharaoh. Okay, you see the same here. The Sphinx, Pyramid of Shiza. The nose is missing, of course. Then see the expos done by Aleister Crowley, which he called the Osiris sum, like summing Osiris, which means Lucifer, also known as the evil eye, Saturn, whatever. And David Bowie did the same in 1971. Okay, he's wearing the tunic of the golden dawn. You can see the oval here once again on the hat. So let's read Revelation 13, 2-3. So the beast I saw was like a leopard with the feet of a bear and the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandering after the beast. This is what I was explaining with the 2 heads, symbols, the eagle, so dragon. The dragon being resurrected, which Pirates des Caraïbes is depicting. And Bob Marley. So, of course, deadly wound healed. See, Akhenaton means éclat d'Aton, rayonnement d'Aton, the black sun. In Arab, Barak means in Arab, Barack Obama means lightning after, so think of Luke 10:18. And ironically, Akhenaten was known as the 10th ruler of the 18th dynasty, so Luke 10:18. And even in this cover, Obama is titled The Second Coming. So Second Coming, the deadly wound was healed. America expects, can he deliver? And it's interesting here, it says how women will save Europe. Okay, one. And of course, the emblem of Egypt is once again the phoenix, but this time with one head. So, of course, Pirates des Caraïbes, Malédiction of Black Pearl. So the red scarf, because his deadly wound was healed. He's also depicting Bob Marley. And we know that Bob Marley is known to be Jamaican. And in the flag of Jamaica, you find the X. Okay. Then let's go to Fatherland, a German-sponsored weekly magazine during World War I. So you see the two heads, the one head, you see America, you see an X here. So during World War I, Fatherland was a magazine, German magazine, sponsored, a weekly German magazine, edited by George Sylvester Viekrek. So he was born 1884, so 88 once again, and died in 1962. So he was a poet, also known as a German propagandist, who worked on behalf of Nazi Germany. His heroes were Jesus Christ, yeah, of course, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Oscar Wilde, so it's just blaspheme. Aleister Crowley resided in the United States during World War I, while continuing to the Fatherland newspapers. So Aleister Crowley was also contributing to the Fatherland newspaper. Then the same X we find in the URSS flag, the X symbol of Saturn too. So see the moon, the star, okay, then the sun, the hammer, that looks like an X altogether. So in reference to Joseph Stalin, also known as Father of Nation or Père de Nation, in reference to Abraham. Père de Nation, when we think of Père de Nation, think of Israel, okay, was the nation, the chosen nation of God, Jesus Christ, and Jewish being the tribe Jesus was part of, so la tribu de Juda. Okay, so the birth of a nation, so they reproduce the same, but this time with the KKK, so the anti-Jew instead. And this is Birth of a Nation was a movie released in 1915. And what we're looking at is the poster.
This is America. Don't get you slipping now.
So see the white, or it's not really a white horse, so black horse with a white hood. Then see the cross logo, Switzerland. Then that same logo of Saturn we see in the current protests of Antifa. So your US protest Trump targets Antifa. So see the same logo, the mask I can breathe because the goal is to kill the Jews. And even ACAB here. What is ACAB? All corpse are beautiful. So you say everybody is beautiful, but in reality, when they say body, because we have demons among us. So when they talk about body, because they're into the body business, meaning traffic, you know. So these are like, think of Thriller by Michael Jackson. This is a thriller night. So he was normal, and then at night he transformed. Okay, his real face was pushed into the public. And think of also the movie 1988, the movie titled They Live. Think of the figures that Basquiat was drawing. And even in this photo right here, see the Puma, he's wearing Puma, and Puma is in relation to Yoshira. It's in relation to the demons, okay? Demons, they call themselves, and he's wearing even like, oh my God, Adidas. That's why we have to be careful with these brands. Okay, so BLM was never about the blacks really like Indians. It was about blacks as in demons. Okay, so this is the Russian also emblem. So see here the X once again, the red cross. In the middle, you find someone wearing the US colors, the white, blue, and the red. And these are the colors of Russia, OVO. Okay, so these are the badges. So he's blonde, like comme une permanente. He looks like a caniche in some sense, with blue eyes. And Beyonce is depicting the same thing because she's part of the Dutch, okay? She's a symbol of Colombia, OVO, in other words, of Moloch. So think of the sun, the moon. So I spoke of the stars. I spoke of the X, okay, in their chest. Also, this is Beyonce performing at the Super Bowl in 2016. And we know that Super Bowl is like a television moment that is worldwide. And television is used in order to hypnosis the mass, but also music through television is used to inhabit people's body. Okay? Those who are empty, who doesn't have the Holy Spirit. Then here is Michael Jackson performing on August 1993. And if you think you're empty and that you feel like compelled to, you just ask for God, just ask God for forgiveness and welcome him into your heart. Then you'll be inhabited by the Holy Spirit, which makes you not available for demons. Okay, so XXX Sensation. XXX Sensation was known as Ja. So Ja, like Ja, yeah. Think of Ja like weed, etc. So Dwayne Ricardo Freud, named after Bob Marley, of course, song. He was born in Plantation, Florida. So just the subliminals, plantation as a slave, on January 1998, and was murdered by the gunshot on June 18 in 2018. And XXX 3X Tentation, and he's wearing a cell. So think of anchor. He's wearing an anchor. So water spirits. The two hair are split, blonde and black. So think of yin yang logo. He has an elephant on the neck. So he's probably Hindu. Okay, practicing Yoshura. I don't know. Then X, we find it also XXX for pornography. Went from book shop to theaters. So they use the triple X logo. In 1968, Motion Picture Association of America, so-called MPAA, introduced the X rating to classify explicit movie. In 1970, the adult industry embraced the X rating to market film producers considered wild and sexy. So wild, because they were dealing with animal spirits. This practice was also used to advertise products and services like strip clubs and carried from strip clubs to online content in 1980s. Then X once again. So think of X as extermination of Jewish, okay? They're targeting the Jewish, so they give you a picture of a Jewish, but in reality, the spirit behind is a demon in order to lead you to destruction. Okay, so Malcolm X in 1964. So Malcolm X, Malcolm Little, he's known as El Haj Malik El Shabazz, was born in Omaha, Nebraska, US in 1925. And he was assassinated by a gunshot in Manhattan, New York in 1965. So it seems like the plan is for the Indians to be assassinated with gunshots, okay? And they succeeded because they use music in order to influence the young boy to think that their enemy is the one that looks just like them. Their neighbor, in other words. But their enemy is really demons. But it's like they're causing the civil war. And died in New York, see? So, of course, Lenox Avenue and Malcolm X Boulevard, which was named after Malcolm X in New York City. And here, what you see here is the Shabazz Center. And with a statue of Neptune, so Dagon, okay, demon god, on a ship above the entrance, known as the former Audubon Theater and Ballroom, Ball. Located in Broadway since 2005, and it's connected to Columbia University Medical Center, which is part of Columbia University Abundant Research Park. So the word here, Columbia, okay, Columbia Records, MOLA, Columbia System, CBS, the solar system, and park wood, meaning that they put, they consider the Jewish as animals, as beasts, as nothing, as people they can just like shot, in other words, because it's the anti-Jew propaganda fascist. So X, once again, Off-White logo, they use the X. So Off-White was started by Virgil Abloh, was born in Illinois, so I do believe in Detroit, Chicago. On September 1980, he died from heart cancer, so cardiac, on November 2021. So cardiac can be caused by drug too, okay, drug overdose. So Virgil was the creative director of Louis Vuitton and Donda. And think of Kanye West, who did this.
Get out the way. But the right time to go. Don't love you. Love and hate you.
Concert called Donda, where they were summoning the demon Donda. Off-White is now part of the LVMH group, was formerly known as Spirex Vision. The brand was founded in Virgil Abloh in Milan, Italy. So in Italy, in Rome, those who hate the Jews, okay, worshipping Satan. Then X, once again, we find it in the Tupac album. So it's the Don Killuminati, Kill. The 7 Day Theory album by Tupac Shakur, released by Death Row. So Death Row. Oh my God, this thing is so obvious. November 1966. So there's 12 title. The first being Bomb First. Then second, Hail Mary. 3, Toss It Up. 4, To Live and Die in LA. 5, Blasphemy. 6, Life of an Outlaw. So think of the tree of life or the tree of death. 7, Just Like Daddy. 8, Crazy. 9, White Man's World. So think of West India Company. 10 is Me and My Girlfriend. 11, Hold Ya Head. And 12, Against All Odds. So of course, once again, Tupac was another image they use in order to influence men's and young men's into prison. It's all a system of influencing the people and making, because these are like made up characters. These are not like real people. Okay, behind these entertainments are the Jews that we call Jews, but in reality, these are from the synagogue of Satan, which means that they're anti-Jew, anti-Israelites, and anti-human, which is the image of God. Okay, so once again, the X, DMX, X, flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood, so sacrifice, giving your body to Satan. So the album was Flesh of My Flesh by DMX, released by Def Jam. So Jam, think of Jamaicans, and death, think of death, like killing, death. Okay. And okay, so there's 16 songs, the first being My Niggas, 2 being Bring Your Whole Crew, 3, Pac-Man, 4th song is Ain't No Way, the 5th song is We Don't Give a F, the 6th song Keep Your Shit the Hardest, the 7th Coming From, 8 It's All Good, 9th song is The Omen, with Marilyn Blackman Manson. 10 is Sleeping, 11 No Love for Me, 12 Dogs for Life, so who let the dogs out, meaning who let the demons out. 13 Blackout, 14 Flesh of My Flesh, 15 Heat, so heat like hell, and 16 Prayer 2, Ready to Meet Him. So the last days, or the Antichrist. So of course the Ark of Osiris, B.L. Freeman, and Freeman of course blaspheme. Okay, Secret of Distant Past. So the demon whose deadly wound was healed. So I do have here a picture of the Economist magazine published on December 2012. So December, think of 10. This is the 10th month. So see the X everywhere. So X factor here. Then see climate change, which in reality means extermination of the people, a change of atmosphere, fear, désespoir, etc. Then see on the boat, pride. Who is it? It's Obama. Think of Luke 10:18, cast out from heaven. See all the presidents, Putin, lui de North Korea, all the demons, and the master is Satan. Okay, Mammon master. And see the center, hacker center, run by demons. And see the mouth here, people going into greed, the bankers, envy, gluttony. See here, fake Israel, wrath, the temple that is destroyed. Is it the temple of Athena? I don't know. And so on. There's many things. India, China. Okay. This is literally a depiction of Mars, okay? Mars, named after Mardi, or the month of Mars. So Mars is the 4th planet, thin atmosphere, polar cap, considered as the brightest in the sky, described as active with mass quakes trembling underneath the ground caused by dust, devil sweeping across the landscape. So devil coming from the ground. Here are some agencies involved in mission to Mars. So NASA, CNSA, European Space Agency, Boeing, SpaceX. And remember that the planets do not exist as we think they are, because we cannot go outside of Earth. Okay, and by the way, the sun and the moon are the ones rotating around the Earth. Since we say le lever du soleil, okay, with the rising of the sun, le coucher du soleil, the sun going down, that means they're the ones moving. But Mars is more like an atmosphere of destruction, an atmosphere of war, of chaos, hell. And I think it was interesting because even like the expos, the X is used for the Oscars. Yeah, the Oscars. Okay, so once again, the Starship Elon Musk test launch for SpaceX on April 2003. So Elon Musk, who represents Moloch, we say that he comes from South Africa, but in reality, I do believe he comes from Liberia. It's a spirit, okay, from Liberia, promoting Liber, Satan, Statue of Liberté. Anyway, so unscheduled assembly before the stage preparation. So let me read this article from Paper Magazine. And Paper, think of molded images. Okay, so when he's not quietly rolling back protection for trans people under Twitter's hateful conduct policy or trying to convince us that smelling like burnt hair is a good thing, it's easy to forget that Elon Musk is still on a mission to send people to Mars, to war, in other words. But if SpaceX's latest test launch is any indication as to how things are going, that dream may still be quite a ways away. This was published for Vogue China. And this was published on X. So this is Madonna holding a book one. That means the book of the law, I guess. Then here is the dragon, the red dragon. Okay, so let me read this. Yeah, and this is also the spaceship. Okay, she's called Donna for Madonna, in other words, destruction. So bringing mankind to Mars, war. Heralded as one of the largest, most powerful rockets to ever be built, the nearly 400-foot-tall Starship blasted off the SpaceX Boca Chica in Texas facilities Thursday morning on what was expected to be an hour-and-a-half test flight, only to explode shortly after liftoff. Starship only made it about 4 minutes into its planned ascent before the spacecraft began to break up over the Gulf of Mexico in a fairly bald debris. And while historically the space race is no stranger to seeing its fair share of failures, SpaceX curiously went out of their way to call what happened to Starship an explosion, but rather described the rocket's fate as a rapid and scheduled disassembly. Okay, so Thursday, think of Thursday, so Satan being held out from heaven. And even Texas was the place where they welcome the astronauts from the moon mission. In other words, they welcome the demons, the portal, the door. Okay, so Donna, now let's talk about Madonna. Once again, the X and the heart is the middle. So God says to protect your heart because it is the source of life. So more Madonna as Virgin Mary. Once again, Donna, now Madonna, the same persona, depicting Virgin Mary. And we know that Virgin Mary in reality is Lucifer, the Statue of Liberty, the emblem of the Catholic Roman Church, the emblem of Babylon. Okay, so Madonna, Babylon, refers to Virgin Mary, an Italian, blasphemous, virtuous, and morally pure chaste woman, or the complete opposite. So while we all can relate to Madonna being portrayed as a Virgin Mary, daggers in her heart, given her history of fighting with the Catholic Church for women's control of our own bodies. So, just like I referenced, when they say the war against the body, it has nothing really to do with gender, but instead it has to do with corpse, akab, corpse, okay? Inhabiting corpse, so dead, just like the music video of Thriller. That would be the best description I have. Okay, so fighting against homophobia and the denial of LGBTQ rights and numerous other fights that educate research-hungry people know about the history of religion. And this is from Anne of Carvesville. So this was Madonna for the Vanity Fair magazine cover. And here is Decline of Women's. So the serpent prosperity, in other words. So Madonna makes it clear in her in her interview that Luigi and Yango are the creative masterminds behind the visual imagery. Their ideas sync absolutely with her own, but Madonna is quick to take no creative credit for this timely, philosophical visual imagery on the decline of women's status globally in recent years. As society, are we moving on from that patriarchal world? We definitely are not moving on. We are moving backwards. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having discussion on whether or not women are allowed to make choices over their bodies in America.
Oh my God, Anna, hi. How you feeling? Golden Globe noms are so soon. Ooh.
Hey, Derek.
Good luck with the Ashleys.
Hi, I'm Ashley.
I'm Ashley. Ashley and Ashley are the top crisis PR experts in the country. Your Q rating is in the toilet. The Golden Globe nominations are right around the corner.
But I thought that's why you got me the cover of Vogue.
Honey, one Vogue cover isn't gonna cut it.
You're going to make a reel.
Oh, what?
Oh, no. Siobhan, I told you I'm getting off Instagram for my mental health.
Well, what's worse for your mental health, a harmless app or the death of your dream?
We are going to renew and revitalize your image by creating your own personal viral feminist anthem.
It's my body. I'll bleed if I need to. No more guilt. It's my body. It's my body. It's my body. I'll get an abortion if I need to. It's my body. I'm an everyday woman who vomits. It's my body. I appreciate it. Now's the time for our generation to get it right. Sexual acts, natural acts, and rites of passage. Am I right, ladies? Right. Oh.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information.
Walking down that hallway shaped like a clown cervix. Black May West. As much as I'd love to continue to exchange pleasant cocktail pleasantries, there is a war to be won. Poor discarded. Let's light her on fire.
It's showtime, ladies.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I say. What's worst? Looking jealous or crazy? Jealous or crazy?
Honey, you're on.
Honey, you're on.
Tastes like honey, ay, ay. The devil's on my shoulder.
Is there anything else Paris can do for you? You name it.
Well, I've always heard how great a French kiss is, but I've never actually had one.
A what?
You are the victim here, and every tear you shed is $100K in your pocket. Career obsessed.
Oh, why the hell not?
Stand up straight and breeze into that room like a storm no one saw coming. You are not taking so much as a ballpoint pen out of this building. Enough edging, counselor. Let us come already.
Love and War. Before you comment on my new appearance, please know that this look is mine. Nothing more than next Halloween's costume, where I will be dressing as a whore lawyer.
So yes, we are literally moving backwards because there is nothing new under the sun. Going back to the Eden, the prosperity of the serpent. And when they talk about woman's body, they're talking about a male pretending to be a woman. Okay, it has nothing to do with woman per se. Okay, so the blue planet, in reference to Twitter. Okay, so the blue planet, the same planet that Queen Elizabeth imposed her hands on, or his hands on. Okay, so back to the blue planet. Okay, the Commonwealth. So this was when Kanye, I do believe it was around 2019 to 2020, I can't remember. So he tweeted, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going to DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is I actually can be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever oppose your agenda." He's right. Black people are in reality Jewish. The irony is that he is not a black person. This is a demon. So being black has nothing to do with skin color, because the blacks are in reality Indians with red skin. That's a description. Couleur d'airain. But yeah, black means coming from the Black Sea, coming from Georgia, near Russia. And their skin color not necessarily couleur d'airain. Okay, so this is the logo that he released. Also, he went to an interview at InfoWars. So think of Mars, okay, InfoMars, World War, and he was wearing a hood, a black hood or a mask. Think of BLM, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. So this is literally a propaganda, a fascist propaganda, and he's doing here the sign above and below. Okay, so that's interesting because this is the Twitter logo since 2012. So it looks like a dove, just like when in the story of Noah, when the rain stopped, he sent a dove and a corbeau. Yeah. Okay, so the dove came back with a sign that the water was dissipating. But anyway, so in 2003, Twitter logo changed for an X. And it's funny because it changed for an X just in my birthday. October 27th is my birthday. Okay, so now encore X-Men. This is the Middle East release poster of X-Men in 2016, produced and distributed by 21st Century Fox. So here, X-Men Apocalypse or Revelation, Extermination of Men. So these are like superheroes, and superheroes is in reference to the Nephilim, those who are half human, half demons. So let's read about the plot. Only the strong will survive. So these are principalities, demons, okay, in the back especially. So it says the plot in 36 BC, so 36, of course, 666, lol. The aged but powerful mutant of Sabanur rules ancient Egypt, following a ceremony in which his consciousness is transferred into another man's body in order to gain his healing factor. So think of Apocalypse 13, who was the beast who was whose wound was healed. Okay. And also think of they say transferring consciousness. So this is what they call reincarnation. So having a new body, possessing a new corpse. Just like the pharaohs who are buried and preserved. That's literally what we're talking about here. He and his 4 followers, so think of the 4 arms of Shiva. The horsemen of Apocalypse are betrayed by conspirators, so the 4 horsemen. And the process is followers, and in the process, his followers are killed, and he is entombed alive. So this is the Wikipedia description. Okay, and notice also the persona here. He's bald. Okay, so then, of course, I need to bring this Music X by Kendrick Lamar from his Damn album. So Down, Damn, Condemn, Condemnation, and See the Cross, All the Cross, with the false Jesus, the androgen destruction. Okay, so let's read the lyrics. So one. Come tear is ish down. I see double cups. A Ovo, vovo, so ovo, olo, ovo, okay? Ovo like Colombia, Moloch. Indawo, so India. Benjamin Franklin, okay, no homo, okay. Like Homo sapien ou quoi? So thought on the jungle, so think of Parkwood, were put into neighborhoods, Jewish neighborhoods, or what they call the hood. I keep the peace on me, I leave you puzzled. Gifted, I don't know what that means. Black card on her, money longer than hair on her. So remember when God cursed the woman of Sion, okay, les femmes de Sion, he said that he will, because of their pride, he will make them bald. Okay. Money longer than hair, in her mouth like cavity, and I'm higher than her dad's salary. Saudi, so Arabi Saudi, are you on 10 yet? Fuzailin smoking, Xanax. Xanax, I do believe it's a drug. Okay, you're soul searching. If you're looking for me, so you're looking for a demon. I'm dripping somebody's daughter, find a swallow of these children. So they eat children, of course. The Chaldeans are known for eating children and sacrificing children. I race you to 100 million. So race has nothing to do with black, white, but instead it has to do with the prosperity of the serpent and the prosperity of women back in Eden. Of course, they're using the image of women. So Satan is using the image of women. So blood for women's right. Blood shed for women's right. In 2020, Kendrick Lamar performing Savior, so blasphemy, on Glastonbury's Pyramid stage for the festival 5th anniversary in England. So England, think of West India Company or West East Company, East India Company. Okay, so... Okay, let me read this. So his pyramid stage set with a redemption, new song Savior with touches of politics, COVID, the Black Lives Matter movement, favorite record. At the end of performance, repeated the chant. So he chanted, they judge you, they judge Christ. Godspeed for women's rights. So this is literally a change to demons once again. Multiple times before abruptly exiting the stage and leaving his dancers behind. June 2020. So Juneteenth, Pride Month. All the women are wearing red. He's wearing white. Then once again, the depiction. So just like a Beyonce, the Vogue cover. So he's in the middle and then see the circle, just like the Colombia symbol. And all the women are like around.
Missing say, hold up, they don't love you like I love you. Slow down, they don't love you like I love you. Are you cheating on me?
Listen, you motherfuckers owe me.
Okay, so of course it has to do with Mars. Okay, I want to read this global news that was released in 2018. So the sun and the moon will be in Virgo. So sun and the moon, I don't know what it means. Okay. But what was interesting here is, however, the conspiracy theory claim another planetary alignment representing the lion of the tribe of Judah will make this time the rapture. It's weird. And we know that this image right here is made up. It's really a Hollywood production because, first of all, the earth is not a circle. We can't leave the earth. Okay, so now see in the magazine here, representing once again the Christ or Antichrist. So Kanye West for Rolling Stone magazine. So Rolling Stone, rolling the stone when Christ resurrected. It's just a play on words. And Kanye West, the West Indie Company, is Indie Company. So Jews usurp identity. So let's read that. So it is also showed him, so this was during an interview with Tucker Carlson. So it says, it also showed him making remarks that we were charged with anti-Semitism. At one point he said that Planned Parenthood, okay, abortion, founder Margaret Sanger was a known eugenics sick, I don't know, who collaborated with the Ku Klux Klan to control the Jew population. So they added the clinic, the abortion clinic, not only for the Jews to sacrifice their kid to Moloch, but also to exterminate the Jews, okay? And they expanded on the remark saying, when I say Jew, I mean 12 lost tribes of Judah, the blood of Christ, who the people known as the race black really are. Wow. But the claim made about black people being the 12 lost tribe of Judah broadly resemble the belief of black Hebrew Israelites that African Americans are descendants of biblical Israelites. A smaller cohort of radical Hebrew Israelites have made this belief into the basis of anti-Semitic abuse and attacks of Jews whom they see as having usurped their identity. So most of us call ourselves Canadians, Haitians, but in reality, most of the Caribbeans are part of the tribe of Judah. And then some people don't know, but Egyptians were also black. Talking about the skin color. Okay, I'm not talking about the spirits necessarily behind, but the skin color. Of course, oh baby, red is still used. From Vogue magazine, Rihanna +1. So are we talking about the birth of the Antichrist? Are they using the story of Jesus in order to welcome the Antichrist? And oh baby stands for oh baby for Babylon, baby. Baby for Babylon. So all the R&B music, baby, 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 the love songs are about Babylon and drugs, of course. So Order of Saint Anne. So pagans believe Mary and Joachim are Jesus' ancestors. So they worship ancestors. So why not worshiping Jesus instead of worshiping Mary? I don't know. Saint Anne as Mary's mother, Jesus' grandmother, and Joachim wife, also known as the woman dressed in red. They are celebrated on every July 26th. So belief from Orthodox Church, also called Eastern Catholic Church, Roman Church, Catholic Church, Lutheranism, Islam, Afro-American religion, Anglican Communion, Oriental Orthodox Church. So all the Catholic Church are in reality symbols of Babylon, okay? And they all have the bell, Babel, for the Babel Tower. So this is once again Prince wearing all red with the woman's in white. So like the opposite of Kendrick. So they use the woman's. And I do believe Prince is like an androgyne, but anyway. So Prince performing Purple Rain Sunday night during Super Bowl, halftime 2007. So CXLI. So in the X for 10, these are like Roman numeral. And see the shadow here because this is a spirit. Once again, okay, Babylon, Madonna, Virgin Mary, all the same names, Sinterklaas, all the same. So they use Kabbalah magic, lust magic, okay, lust, putting the nation to lustful desires, just like Prince, dancing with lust, like in a lustful way. So he has the guitar. Think of Bob Marley, think of Springsteen. The guitar is a very important instrument. So this is once again Madonna for Vanity, issued in 2023. So Madonna told Harper's, the world discovered I was studying Kabbalah. I was accused of joining a cult. I was accused of being brainwashed, of giving away all my money. I was accused of all sorts of crazy things, she said. It's lust. See, lust. The wine, the grapes. Then here, this is exactly, we're looking at Sinterklaas. So sin, see the babies that are not really babies, but demons. Sinterklaas that we call also Le Père Noël, who eats children. Then the same goes, the Sinterklaas is celebrated at Saturn, Narlia. Saturn meaning Satan. So let's read this. So this is the Roman calendar. Okay, and the Roman calendar, what you see here is all the celebration of their false god. Just like the people of Israelites have calendars to celebrate God. So Roman numerals, X means 10. Roman calendar, December is the 10th month. Roman 10th celebration is Saturnalia, that we call Christmas. Celebrated by Chaldeans, Babylonians, during winter, also known as Xmas, like mass extermination of the Jewish. The only day masters will serve their slave, their Israelite slaves. They serve them alcohol, drugs, so they forget about their current condition. Romans god Saturn, Satan, Santa, Santeria, Sinterklaas, Sin, Babylon, werewolf, loup-garou, who drinks blood and sacrifices children. So who drinks the blood of saints and sacrifice children. Also known as Nimrod, who was behind the abortion. Remphan, Julius Caesar, Lucifer, Queen Mary. Saturn symbol is 4 in reference to sun worship. The Roman synagogue happens on the 4th day of the week, Sunday. Yeah, Sunday is actually the 4th day of the week. They, in reference to the sun worship, Lucifer. And Roman synagogue happens on the 4th day of the week, Sunday. God created the sun, and 3rd day in Genesis. Anyway. Okay, so this is Sinterklaas, Pope, Zwarte Piet, also known as Star of Remphan. This is like the moon, Luna, and the sun. Yin-yang, basically. And here is the symbol of the Lamen Ordo Templis. I do believe that's what they use when they say that they believe in reincarnation. It's like a spirit going into a corpse. Okay, so in reference to, so all of this, is in reference to the red little hood, the same thing. So it comes from a Roman Greek European legend recounted by Pausanias, which tells the story of a virgin girl who is offered every year to a demon dressed in the skin of a wolf. The girls walk through the woods, so hood, like hood. When we say you live in the hood, that's what they refer to in the story of the Little Riding Hood. Okay, so it's not only the woods, but the hood. So in the hood, you have demons living among us. Okay, so demons so wolf in sheep clothing. That's the description we give them.
sorry I didn't believe you.
Can I ask you something?
What?
You know I like you, don't you?
Yes? What are you talking about?
Okay, so she through the woods to deliver food, that means wine and cake, to her grandmother, and a stalking wolf wants to eat the girl and the food in the basket. So this is the illustration, and even like the Red Riding Hood, you can think of Beauty and the Beast, the Hitler ideal, the doll, Idol, the Star of Ramfan and Ramfan, etc. Inspired by The Wolf and the Seven Young Goats by the Brothers Grimm, published at the first edition of Candor, so the book, in 1819. So also known as The Wolf and the Kids. The kids meaning like kids goat. These are goat. Okay, so the synopsis is: a mother goat leaves her 7 kids at home while she ventures into the forest to find food. Before she leaves, she warns her young goat about the wolf who will try to sneak into the house and gobble them. He will pretend to be their mother and convince the kids to open the door. The young children will be able to recognize their true mother by her voice, with white feet and sweet voice. So there's a verse in the Bible that says, "My sheep know my voice, and a stranger's voice they do not follow." So it's the same principle. Of course, the devil is using music, he's using television, he's using influencers in order to influence you into destruction. Just like back in Eden with Eve. So he spoke to Eve. So Eve saw the tree and was like, that must be good. So she was tempted, she eat of it, even though God said not to eat of it because she would die. And sin entered the world. So whenever God forbids something, it's because there's a reason. And going against what God says will bring disease, will bring death, will bring destruction, sadness, everything that is the opposite of life, joy, and everything that God promises. So people see the commandments or the everything that God says as I'm missing out on life, but the truth is sin makes you miss out on life. That's the reality. But this story is, of course, deception. In that case, the Little Riding Hood is a demon, a doll. And it's a representation to, she is the same person we see in the Last Supper, portrayed by Leonardo da Vinci. So this is the painting when it was found. And what's interesting here is that when you look at, first of all, okay, the people of God are couleur d'airain. But the other thing is, when you look in the middle, you see it sort of looks like a woman because of the long hair, you know? So it's like an androgen God. Neither male nor female. Intertwined. It's like an eclipse. It's like an eclipse just right here, an eclipse. So both being one, you know? Yin yang being one. So once again, the same image was reproduced by Madonna in Vanity Fair. So Madonna is Virgin Mary, so androgen, but demons in reality, demons. We're looking at demons. So once again, Madonna portraying the Pope because Virgin Mary is also the Pope. Okay, the same thing, Vatican. So they're all worshipping the sun, okay, Saturn in other words, the moon and the sun intertwined. So this is Madonna dressed as une sœur and by the Pope. And here she's literally depicting the Pope. Okay, so this is also the Pope. That would be a good description of the Pope. Pope Francois or Francis. Pope is Virgin Mary too. See the sun, and she's in the middle in reference to Colombia. So she's wearing blue, then see the gold. Okay, she's also known as Athena. She's the mistress of offering, carrier of sacrifice. So she carries demons in her belly. Yeah, she's friend with the deads, and she guides them to rebirth. So reincarnation. So corpse. Beyonce is the same. She's a representation, Colombia. That's Colombia too. And being pregnant, it's the image of carrying dead people, reincarnated people, with using the ritual of Yoshua, and they're giving worship to the sun god. And think of when we talk about climate change, okay? So there's this company that's called COP27 from Egypt, 2022. And see here, they're worshiping the sun. See the colors? The blue, the yellow, the same colors are here. And the green, I do believe, stands for the land. And see, this is the rise of the sun. And this is the underworld, okay? The underworld. These could be like serpent's head. This could be like hands, however you want to see it. But it's also the logo of Medusa, destruction, Shiva. So COP27 has to do with destruction. So they pretend to care about the earth, planet, and etc. But in reality, they're worshipping the sun. They're worshipping the Astartes. They're worshipping the deads. And they want to kill the Jews, the Israelites, and humankind. The image of God, in other words. And this is also the evil eye. So the same goes when we worship Beyonce or these celebrities, when we care about them, etc., this molded image. In reality, we are worshipping Satan. So Beyonce means beyond others, beyond Babylon. She's the head of Babylon. She's Colombia. The symbol that depicts this situation the best is the ritual of Aten. Okay, so this is the pharaoh, which looks like Obama giving glory to the sun god, to Lucifer. See the offerings in his hands, and see even Bitcoin is part of the system of Lucifer. It's part of the solar system. See, there's an 8, and then you can see the 2 bars, which looks like 11, or the 2 towers. So this is the Aten, highest position of the sun. So say noon, the sun is above, so they're worshiping the sun. And the same goes with David Bowie, who made a song about Queen Bee. Queen Bee, like bee. Okay, so verse 1, just read the verse 1. So this is his 4th studio album called Hunky Dory, and the music is called Queen Bee, the 9th song. Okay, 9th, like giving birth. Giving birth. And think of November as the 9th month. But anyway, okay, so it says, verse 1, I'm up to the 11th floor. So think of the Bitcoin. This is 11. Think of even the tower. The tower in New York that was destroyed, 9/11. Okay, so, and I'm watching the cruiser below. He's down on the street and he's trying hard to pull Sister Flo. So the cruiser, you can think of the boat. He's trying hard to, okay, on my heart's in the basement. My weekends at all-time low because she's hoping to score. I can see her letting it go. So, of course, we're talking about destruction. The worship of the sun is in reality Shiva, destruction. Okay, so, of course, in reference to the music video has this imagery, September 11, 9/11 in 2001 in New York. So 911, emergency state, the Red Cross. Think of Switzerland. Think also of the ambulance, okay? South and North Tower destruction. Think of Shiva. And what does South represent? What does North represent? And think of the kids of Kanye West, one called North. Okay, so reference Shiva, destruction of the body of Christ, okay, of the church, and the prosperity of the serpent taking over. The 911 New York emergency state, okay? And we know that the Statue of Liberty, which represents Liber, meaning Satan, the false liberty, and New York being a prison in itself. So the Bitcoin logo, what's interesting is that New York has 8 water waves. It's known as the 8 door. The 8 door. Rihanna has her 8 studio album called Anti. And yeah. So this is the 2 towers, which resemble the Bitcoin logo. And the Bitcoin, and we know that the towers has to do with economy. The economic tower, well, it has to do with money and economy and whatever. The money, well, printing money is not a thing. Now they want to go digital, so digital money. So this is a new economy of digital market. So that means now we're depending on the internet. We depend on electricity. We highly depend on the government, in other words. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin ATM machine in Switzerland. And even think of the Dominion voting machine, which look exactly like this. So now machine is like the new, now we depend on machine, in other words. So of course, this is the logo, the flag of Switzerland, the cross. Now, if you rotate the cross 45 degrees, you get X for extermination. So 9/11 was broadcast in Simpson, premiered on Fox 1966. It was also broadcast in Johnny Bravo in Cartoon Network on April 2001. What's interesting with the Simpson Tower, so Simpson Tower is a tower in Toronto, but I'll get into that. So remember, okay, the Hudson Bay Company, okay, the Hudson Bay is very important. So these are all like Indians reserve, but here in New York is there, New Jersey is there, yet it seems like they use these as like prisons. These are like prisons. Think of the West India Company, which looks like oval, the W, and the Mississippi River that lays here, which maybe is the Nile River. The Hudson Bay Company is a Canadian company incorporated in 1670, so during the time of the heavy slavery of the New World, the birth of the New World. And of course, the Hudson Bay Company is their head office is located on Toronto, Ontario, in Canada, in Bay Street. So this is the Simpson Tower, 33 floor, which reminds me of God who was 33 when he was crucified, and 144 meter tall. Queen Street, okay, so Bay Street and Queen Street, it's located just right here. And here in Canada, in Quebec, so we have the Hudson Bay in Montreal, downtown. And what's interesting is that, so the West India Company was founded in 1621. And 400 years later, 2021, the Hudson Bay Company started, even before, but the company started to close.
Beautiful.
Mina.
Granddaddy?
Did you say you were from Indianola?
No, India.
You have to yell. He don't hear too good.
India.
Indiana?
India.
What business?
I'm going to Africa one day to see Nelson Mandela. Then I can say I saw somebody for sure.
You gonna pay for the ticket to welfare?
Young lady, tell me, how come they got Indians in Africa?
The British brought them there to build a railway,
Like slaves.
I guess. That's how my grandfather came. Then the railway was finished, and he stayed on.
How come you left?
But Dexter, let her eat her food, huh?
Just asking a question.
Why should I go? Why should I go? Okay, look, this is my home.
Not anymore, Jay. Africa is for Africans. Black Africans.
Home?
I don't know.
The car.
Are you from around here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in L.A. There's plenty of Mexicans there, but pretty as you.
I'm Indian.
Oh, come on. You ain't no Indian.
Yes, I am.
What's a girl like you doing in Mississippi? Punishing yourself?
Mina is my only child. I don't want her to go through the same struggle as I did.
Struggle? Look, I'm a black man born and raised in Mississippi. Ain't a damn thing you can tell me about struggle.
What do you know about my...
No, I know. I know that you and your daughter ain't but a few shades from this right here. How long you been in Mississippi?
3 years?
And before that, India?
No. Before that, I was in England.
Oh.
And before that, I was in Africa.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've never been to India.
Never been to India?
No.
You kidding?
No, I'm not. I'm a mixed masala.
Mixed masala?
Save me, Jesus. What's up, Jake?
Hey, Skillet.
How's the lawsuit? Those niggas paid up yet? Jump fast.
Go on now. Go drink your beer.
See you, Skillet.
So The Simpsons in New York, and now Toronto was once called York. Now it's changed to Toronto, okay? So there's a connection between Toronto and definitely New York. It's a department store and commercial property, and it is the oldest, the Bay is literally the oldest corporation found in America, born in 1670 in London, okay? So remember that Canada or Quebec belongs to London. At least that's what they say. But these are like Indian, des terres indiennes. So this is Hudson Bay Company, HBC store in Vancouver in 1890. So notice also les chariots, okay, the horses. So what's interesting here is that its quarter is located at the Simpson Tower in Toronto and sold its remaining stores to the Netherlands in 2019. So that's why we see here in Montreal, we see the Hudson Bay closing. Once again, let's go back to Toronto. What's interesting, so here the 8, and you have the logo of the BMO, a banking system. So see the dot, think of Target, the red dot, that represents the O, or the Hindu symbol that they put in their forehead. Then an M, which also is a 3, which also is a B, which also is a 8. Okay, BMO. Just want to talk about the logo. Anyway, so BMO was founded in Canada on June 23 in 1817. It opened in New York also on William Street in 1818. So 18 is important. So here is BMO in Montreal. So this is a southwest view of the Bank of Montreal head office in Montreal at Place des Armes. What's interesting is that the columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it reminds me of the Temple of Saturn. It's the same thing, okay, but reconstructed in Montreal. The same thing, Temple of Saturn. Temple of Saturn. The 6 columns. So what is BMO banking? And even think of the banking system. It's like they're like promoting debt. They're promoting people being dependent on the banking system, on the government. And like people are going to say, oh yeah, but now we have Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin, they own Bitcoin. Bitcoin is their own. It's part of their plan, okay? The BMO, it's interesting here because this is one of their banknotes, a $5 banknote from 1942. And see here an X in the middle? There's an X. Once again, extermination. And the V, which represents 5, this is a specimen. So the year was last, the bank issued its own banknotes for circulation exhibit in the Bank of Montreal Museum, Bank of Montreal, main Montreal branch in 19 at 119 Rue Saint-Jacques. There's also a head office in Chicago, and we know that the flag of Chicago, the logo is the anti-Jew logo, the Star of Remphan. So they also have the BMO base here. Okay, so when we think of the towers, we think of the buildings that represents these companies. These buildings, in the Bible, God says that we built high places for Moloch. So most of these buildings are made to worship Moloch. Okay, this form of architecture are made to worship Moloch. Even when you think of the, not urban places, but places more than la campagne, okay, most people, they have a house, they're not as tall. So they're able to enjoy the mountains, they're able to enjoy the paysage, in other words. But in the city, it's like we're all living on top of each other. And all the buildings, you can see them as like bodies, okay, with different members. And even when it comes to the ghetto, what is ghetto? The ghetto, the plan was to have the Jewish living in units, okay? In units, just like a prison. In units on top of each other, living in blocks, in other words. So the square, very square and depressive architecture. And also the idea here is that the highest you are, most expensive the unit becomes. And the lowest you are, the less expensive it is, but also you are not able to enjoy the sun, okay? So you live in darkness. That's the downside of the city. Okay, so the bell system. Okay, so this is a cover from the Metropolis movie, 1927, a German movie by Fritz Lang. And the movie was about New York. So Germany, talking about New York. So is New York designed by Germany? That would be the good question to ask yourself. Since America does not exist, and where is really New York located? What is this land in reality, okay? And that reminds me of the movie Escape New York. And it says that the rule is when you come in, you cannot get out. Okay, so the bell system, I want to talk about the bell system. So we're talking about Babylon. This is literally the Babel Tower, but represented in different form. So we think like of a single tower, but all of the towers represents the Babel Tower. All need the bell system, so a communication system for telephone, for cables, for etc., etc. Okay, so the bell system is the largest corporate entity in the world. The world. The bell is a symbol of the Babylonian reign, also known as the Catholicism. The bell is found on top of the Catholic churches. So think of bell. This is the Bell telephone logo. This was the first Bell telephone logo. Okay, now it's just like in blue, it's Bell, B-E-L-L. But Bell is not only in Canada, but it's also in America. And I'm pretty sure it's in other countries under other names. Okay, so of course, so the pyramid, just like here in the Babel Tower, the city structures, the pyramid you find also in the Maya deities. So May was named after the Maya. Gathered of the rainbow family. Rainbow family are, in other words, demons. Okay, the what we call superhuman with superpowers, so-called. Okay, so indigo children known to possess supernatural traits or abilities, often diagnosed with ADHD. Rainbow gathering, also known as Ashtar, Chakra, psychometric, star people, third eye, etc., etc. They have new age practice such as affirmation, crystal healing, yoga, sun sign astrology, transcendental meditation. All these practices are in order to make your body available for demons to possess them. Okay, so astrology, Maslow pyramid. So the theory behind is the Maslow pyramid. And they use color to evoke emotions, to manipulate. So this is Star of Remphan, also known as Eye of Osiris, Evil Eyes, Eye of Ra, or Eye of Aten, the evil eye, what they call the sun god. So Star of Remphan, Medusa, Star of Ishtar, Lucifer, Atun. So Atun refers to the highest position of the sun, the eye that sees everything at noonday. So think of the sun at noon. The sun is really like above, okay, at the peak. So that's what they refer to. That's how they view their light of darkness. Okay, so the card here, the tower. So see, once again, the evil eye. So we spoke of the tower. So think of the destruction of the two towers. So what is a tower? So they do have a tarot card about it. So let me read. So the tower is associated with planet Mars. So destruction, war, danger, crisis, misery, sudden change, destruction. Universe crashing into war. So universe là is basically Shiva, destruction, the demon god. Break down the fortress of thine individual self, that thy truth may be spring free from runes, quarrel, combat, danger, destruction, plans, sudden death, escape from prison. Okay, so this is the CBS logo, the same eye, which also is represented as the sun, but in reality it's the son of darkness, Lucifer. CBS News, meaning Columbia Broadcast System. So Columbia, think of Beyonce, the golden disc. Broadcast, meaning like the Bell Company, who's responsible to broadcast the communication system, the solar system. Beyonce performing during the fifth Grammy Awards in 2017 in Los Angeles. So this looks like a spirit. And see the veil here? Okay, OVO. Then, of course, this is the logo of OVO from Drake in Toronto. OVO, the owl. Then, of course, we are talking about Colombia, Moloch in other words. And see the Golden Globe, once again, in worship to the Golden Globe, the sun, God, Commonwealth, which has for logo a sun. And why is it the sun? Because they're targeting, their goal is to go back to Eden, the prosperity of the serpent, Eden, which is located à l'Orient, Soleil Levant. And they want to exterminate the image of God. Okay, so what is an idol? So this is literally what they're selling here, idol. So idol, iPhone, selfie, me, myself, and I being selfish, idolatry. So Beyonce is she's like the high priest leading people into fornication, lust, drug use. She's not the only one, of course, there's Taylor Swift also. But that's the idea. So these celebrities are idols in order to influence the Israelites into destruction. So doll, Barbie doll. In reality, the Barbie is the tool of mass destruction. Think of dollar, dollar. A doll refers to a man-made graven image, just like the dollar, into the likeness of someone or something. Now let's talk about the heart, because idolatry starts in the hearts, which is where your tes pensées sont. So hearts, you see the word he, here, ear, earth, art, T cross. Okay, God's Holy Spirit lives in man's heart, man formed from the ground in God's image. So that's what they're targeting, the heart. X, they want to exterminate. And think of the Tiamat, you know. Okay, so now let's talk about Shinar, okay? The Shinar, which means China. So serpent, serpent, dragon, seduction. Shinar, Shin, China, ear, kiss me through the phone. So think of the bell tower, the bell telephone. So Shinar refers to the land where the Babel Tower was attempted to be built, or it's built now. Bell telephone company in reference to Babel Tower. But of course, God will never allow this plan to, only God's will prevail. So Babel Tower represented in the movie of Metropolis, 1927. So of course, think of the Bell Company. Okay, they're on top. Okay, so now when we think of tower, we often think of a building, but in reality, God's tower is our body. And the devil knows that. He knows that God dwells in our body. So the goal with all of this Bell system, the communication system, the television, the sound, the music, etc., is to inhabit empty vessels, empty bodies, those who don't have the Holy Spirit. And those who have the Holy Spirit, the goal is to influence you into destruction. Because you do have your own will, but Satan can influence you, just like he did with Eve back in the garden. He used words, sound, and sight in order to deceive Eve. The tree of life is a soul map according to Kabbalah. Telemat's practices include several religions such as Wicca, Gnosis, Satanism, Luciferianism, including other systems of pagan spiritual thoughts as alchemy, Kabbalah, Tantra, Tarot divination, and yoga. Thelemic magic is a system of physical, mental, and spiritual exercises that cause changes in conformity with will. See? Like following the fashion, following the fascist. They influence your will in order, because Satan cannot make you do something, but he can influence you to do it, to deceive you. Okay, so of course the tower, another card of the tower, see, this is Shiva. So yeah, we think of the building, but in reality, the goal is your body, is your soul. And see, that looks like a Amérindien, a Indian, in other words, and native. So this is a symbol of CERN. So what is CERN? Here is their logo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So CERN has to do, well, all of this, okay, the bell tower communication, the broadcast system, it has to do with dark matter. It has to do with destruction, the dark energy. Even the BLM chant, okay, all of this protest, it has to do with dark energy. Not black people per se, not Jewish people, but black meaning demons. So let's read this. Europe's physics lab CERN on Tuesday said it was planning a new experiment to look for particles associated with dark matter, which is believed to make up 27% of the universe. The European Organization of Nuclear Research, CERN, which is home to the Large Hadron Collider, the LHC, is a giant lab of 27 kilometers. Tunnel straddling the French-Swiss border, said the new experiment was designed to look for light and weakly interacting particles. Scientists says that so-called ordinary matter, which includes stars, gas, dust, planets, and everything on them, accounts for only 5% of the universe. But dark matter and dark energy accounts for the rest, and scientists have yet to directly observe either. So that was an article from the Phys, March 2019. So Shiva, this is her. Okay, statue was given from India to CERN. Please, India to CERN. Okay, Hindu maybe? Because I do believe I do have that question. Who are really the Hindus? Okay, so once again, the Red Cross, the same image. This is Shiva, destruction with the globe. Obama depicting Shiva once again with this time he has like maybe 8 arms. Okay, 6 arms and 2 legs. See the globe, the helicopter, money, the house, the faux Colomb, Christophe Colomb, the health system. It's like nowadays people don't believe that God can heal. They all run to pharmacy to get some pills. Everyone is popping pills. Even Tylenol is pills that you pop. Tarot card is here, okay, also known as the devil. So see the goat, okay, with the eye in the middle. Think of the red dot that the Hindu put here. So God, G-O-A-T, goat. So the devil, that represents the devil. And see here you have, these looks like balls. And these looks like demons and in these balls. And this is the, what I've shown in the Persian flag, okay? The symbol here, the sun in the middle, the red dot. And these looks like l'étoile d'araignée, spider webs all around. Okay, so of course this is a dragon, the same red dot, okay? And this looks like China, the colors of China and the Chaldeans. So see the logos that we see in the BMO, the red dot, and Target, the red dot, then the cross, then Japan flag, the red dot, and even in the chromosome in the middle, the red dot, the center of the universe is man and not the sun, meaning Lucifer. So once again, the ancient serpent, this is the same thing. This is a depiction of that back in Eden. So CERN is a physics human knowledge laboratory created in 1958, interested in the universe, so Shiva, also known as dark matter, and is made of and how it works. Okay, yeah. Their goal is to internationally provide unique range of accelerator facilities that allows forefront of human knowledge and so demons, okay. International unity, so the one world system, training of new generation, the Gen Z generation of the serpent, engagement of citizens in research and value of science. Physics is the study of symmetry because their god is symmetry, just like they use in the logos like Star of Ramphan and etc., also known as quantum fields or gauge invariance. I don't know what it means, but anyway. So clock with the sun. So this is Obama speaking to the US president. So it's like, is it India or Hindu? You know, I'm pretty sure there's a big difference with being Indian and Hindu. Okay, so Barack Obama, White House portrait. So see here, this is the two portraits that was done. The black and white being the one they put in the White House. So here, see, that represents the Garden of Eden. See here, you have like the, comme le crochet that you see even in the, in the Russian or Stalin, Okay, it's the same crochet, that same shape like the moon, okay? This shape, le crochet. In the URSS flag, you notice in the portrait of Obama. Okay, that same symbol. And see, you see, it's like Zeus. It's like l'éclair de Zeus. Another thing is, see, you see a serpent. This is a serpent head. So these are, in this image, there's a lot of subliminals or hidden images, okay? So there's a serpent head here. And even here, it's a serpent head. So the portrait was unveiled on September 7. So September 7, being the 7th month, on the 7th day. So in Arab, Barack Obama means lightning after. Born on April 4, 1961, 4th day of the 4th month in Honolulu, Hawaii. And what is Hawaii truly? Barack Obama is the 44th president of the US. So this is the tower once again. So Barack Obama represents a tower, the tower of the devil, the temple of the devil. Just like us who have the Holy Spirit, temple of the Holy Spirit, Barack Obama is the temple of the Antichrist. Okay, so destruction. Okay, so see what I was talking about. So see le crochet ici, and then the Zeus, okay? And then see the serpent head here. And see, this is also the serpent head. This is the eye. This is the mouth. The serpent head. The universe, so Shiva, also known as universe, or also known as the world, destruction. So originally called the world, since it is believed the earth orbits the sun. It's attributed to the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet, Tau, meaning cross, mark, or sign. It has a dual attribution to Earth and Saturn. Saturn meaning Satan. And have certain qualities in common: heaviness, dryness, immobility, So the universe, see the serpent, the web, the four faces. See, she's wrapped with like a serpent. Then see the X here. See the eagle, the lion. I don't know what is this. A blonde. The universe, back to the commonwealth, okay? The birth, the prosperity of the serpent, Shiva, destruction. The destruction of mankind, okay? A world of Nephilim. So these are literally, I do believe these are doll or Nephilim demons, live demons. So this was during the Oscars. So the logo of the Oscar is the X, like I've shown earlier. So they parade, they go in a circle, they pose. But why is sometimes I do wonder, like I used to wonder, like why is it relevant to go to a party and be like captured with photos with wearing certain clothing? It's because they're selling. Fashion is used as a tool of war. Fashion stands for fascist. And it has to do with conformity. It's in order to shape people's mind. And people meaning like the Jews. Okay, the real Jews, not the fake Jews. And behind all these entertainments are the fake Jews. So the fake Jews wanting to destroy the real Jews. These are the synagogue of Satan. Okay, so Janelle Monáe, Elie Bieber, all androgyne, okay? Ciara, androgyne meaning both male, female, but demons in reality. Hunter Schaffer, Emrata, Alessandra Brizio, Megan Thee Stallion, Kylie, Chloe and Hailey. So see, the expos. So this is Rihanna performing, and this looks like a fake person. But anyway, Rihanna, while pregnant, closing the red carpet, and she performed Lift Me Up. from the movie Black Panther. So Black Panther, think of Puma. And what is a Black Panther? So first human mutate, superhero, called superhero. Black movie, black like not skin color, but anyway. The character first appeared in Marvel Comics. The name Black Panther predates the founding of Black Panther Party, a communist party of 1966. Black Panther species Black Leopard and Black Jaguar. Wakandans are mystical beings expelled from the city by humans, because once they discovered these are demons, they were expelled by humans. So thousands of years, let's read the plot. So thousands of years ago, 5 African tribes were over a meteorite containing the metal vibranium. One warrior ingests a heart-shaped herb affected by the metal and gains superhuman abilities, demons, becoming the first Black Panther. He unites all but the Jabari tribe to form the nation of Wakanda. Over centuries, the Wakandans use vibranium to develop advanced technologies, and like the demons sharing their knowledge. Just like back in the day of Noah, when the demons were cast out from heaven, they made babies. No, not when they were cast out, but they went down and made babies with daughters of men. In exchange, they give them knowledge. So demon practices. Okay, so technologies and isolate themselves from the world by posing as underdeveloped country. So they pretend to be a country that is underdeveloped, just like Haiti, but in reality, they're very advanced in technology. And they do that so people don't go into, ne viennent pas en tant que touristes, okay? It's like their way of hiding from the world. Black Panther was released in 2018, produced by Marvel Studios, and distributed by Walt Disney, all satanic temples. Let's continue. So I spoke of the Black Panther. So the Black Panther is a cat, also sometimes represented as a lion, also sometimes represented simply as a black cat. Okay, so Doja Cat. So Doja stands for drug, Doja. Okay, Ja. Then cat. Okay, the cat. But remember, so when we talk about the Black Panther, the Lion King, all these animals' kingdom, the wild animals, we're talking about muted superheroes, okay, that have superpowers, capabilities, but in reality these are animal spirit. Okay, so of course I need to bring the Yoruba people. I said Yorushura, but it's Yoruba people, okay? So see Black is King from Beyonce music video by Disney. Okay, it's literally the same scene. It's the Lion King represented in different ways. So see here on the top, you have what looks like a bell. Okay, think of the Roman bell. Then see the X on the clock. Okay, avec l'animal, the animal head. Then here is the Lion King sitting on the so-called throne. So here it's, okay, and then you have 2 women at his feet. So Oyo Empire, it's a Yoruba people, so it's a reconstruction of the Oyo Empire. So let's talk about the Orisha symbol, because see the cross here? Then think of the Target logo, okay? So 2 circle, and then think of the red cross. Okay, so the Orishas are spirits reincarnated as human on earth. This practice originated from West Africa in Nigeria, Yoruba religion, so Niger, okay, and found their way in the New World, okay? So that's when we think of the négriers, the boats, okay? Just like the sailboat of the Black Pearl, it's sort of the same thing. Okay, so today it is expressed in Haitian voodoo, okay? So Haitian, en parenthèse, because we know that Haitians are indigènes. So they're supposed to be, of course, worshipping l'Éternel, the God of the one who made the heaven and the earth. However, they attach voodoo they attributed voodoo to Haitian. The Europeans are doing voodoo with their voodoo doll or the Barbie doll. It's the same principle. Then it's found in Santeria, okay, so think of the Olympic logo that represents Santeria, or the 5 stars, the Star of Remphan. It's also practiced in Trinidad, in Ubanda, Oyotunji, etc. Okay, because when the Triangle de Bermude, during the exploration, there was a lot of mix happening in the 3 continents, which Asia, Africa, and Europe. So in Wakanda, okay, in the movie Wakanda, they worship numerous deities such as Bast or Bastet, the panther goddess, Sekhmet, the lion goddess, Tut, okay, god of the moon, Ta, etc. So the same was represented in the music video or the film Black is King. So see here, the 2 lions, think of the tribe of Judah, the Haitian flag, the emblem is the 2 lions, so it represents kingdom. Even Bob Marley, who's the catfish of the Jamaicans, he's represented as a lion head with the dreads, also depicted as the sun. And even think also the United Nation, no, not the United Nation, but the United Kingdom, their flag, they have the 2 lions too. So yes, it's in reference to the tribe of Judah, the Jews. So here we have Black Panther, the Black Panther group. So this is Huey Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party. So once again, the Columbia representation. So the head in the middle of a circle. So it's like the evil eye, an eye. And he's standing on the zebra, skin of a zebra, I do believe. And remember, okay, so it's literally the same pose, okay? The same thing. The panther is also depicted sort of as a dragon. Okay, and see the fashion. So this was a group in New York chanting for BLM. So it's the same thing as BLM. It's just in different light. Okay, so of course, Puma stands, it's the same thing. Puma, it's giving tribute to the prosperity of the serpent once again. Puma, Rihanna was the ambassador of Puma, I do believe till this day. So these are the creeper shoes, and creeper in reference to the crawling things, the reptiles, the reptilians, the prosperity of the serpent. And 1988, remember the movie They Live? So these are like demons reincarnated into human form. Okay, so of course the puma here, see, this looks like sort of like a rainbow. And the same goes with the album cover of Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Also their 8th studio album, just like Rihanna, who has only 8 studio album, and the 8th being Anti. In this studio album from Pink Floyd, it was released in 1973, and the artwork was done by Hypnosis, so Hypnosis. Voilà. So here they are wearing pink, all tied together. So think of 4 heads, 1 body, just like the 4 horsemen. And here the logo, it says goodness, oneness, creation, colors. So pyramid, think of the pyramid of Maslow. Think of the star of Ishtar, the star of Ramfan. Also think of seeing through something like a projection. Okay, so the pink. So of course, pink. So let's talk about the Pink Panther, the movie. So we have Black Panther, now Pink Panther. So the same thing. So I do believe the color has its reason, but I don't quite know the reason. So the Pink Panther was released in 1963 on December 18 in Italy. Let's read the plot. So, oh yeah, and Beyonce was featured also in that movie. And she had, of course, a music video for that music. And see here, the Metro Goldwyn Mayer, this is a lion. Okay, so the plot. So if at a football match between France and China, France national coach Yves Glouant arrives wearing the priceless Pink Panther diamond ring. And diamond, it's in reference to the world. And see, she's also wearing 3 necklaces. And this is in reference to the path of Christophe Columbus, the bridges that leads to Mako in China. Okay. And also the 3 lines, the 3 logos, the 3 lines of Adidas, then the Monster drink, and etc. Okay. And the pearl represents beauty, just like la perle des Antilles. So at a football match between France and China, France national coach Yves Glouant arrives wearing the priceless Pink Panther diamond ring and embraces his girlfriend, pop star Xania, and a pop star is a astral star. Okay, that means a demon reincarnated. After France wins in sudden death, Gluant is killed by a poison dart, with the Pink Panther now nowhere to be found. So what is the Pink Panther representing in that movie? So here is the Italian actress Claudia Cardinal, Princess of Italy, in 1963, wearing a stage costume and a pearl necklace. So once again, the pink. And think also of the Liber pose, having the right breast uncovered. Okay, so here it's Beyonce. Check on It was the music that was introduced in Pink Panther. This is the US and Japanese edition cover, of course released by Columbia and Sony. So Columbia being the image company and Sony the music company. And it was released on October 11, 2025. So here, the music video starts with DC, so District Columbia. And, let's talk about this. Also here, so she's wearing a bodysuit, a pink bodysuit. She has the hats. See the hand sign, so she has her pinky up. Then see what looks like a astral portail, but also it looks like a mouth of a serpent, depending on how you're looking at it. So of course it also features Bon B and Sun something, so worshipping the sun. Columbia is literally the sun, Moloch. And it's literally the same image as Bugs Bunny coming out of the astral world. And when we talk about the astral world, we're talking about a spirit world where demons come in the physical world, okay? And music, television is all a tool of astral projection. Okay, the company was named, so DC Columbia. The company was named after the city of Washington, District Columbia. Columbia Phonograph, so phonograph like a sound or telephone company, produced many commercial Cylinder recording of its own, with a 10-page catalog of music records in 1891. So it's been a while. So in 1894, the company ties with Edison and sold only from its own manufacturer. So they had their own business running, okay, selling their own stuff. So the original home of Columbia, located in 627 East Street in Washington, D.C. And this is a picture taken in 1889, so 88. So Columbia, this is their logo. So see, it's like an eye. Then this looks like waves. And this looks like the antenna of the television or the signal being received. So Columbia, the evil eye. Anyway, so Columbia Phonograph was founded by stenograph, a lawyer called Edward Easton in 1889 in Washington, D.C. Nowadays, they own Columbia Broadcast System that we call CBS, and also Sony Music Entertainment. The artists that we know of today are Celine Dion, Adele, Blink 182, Destiny's Child, Beyonce, Solange, Chloe Bailey, Chloe X Haley, Calvin Harris, David Bowie, and anyway, Dax, Dove Cameron, Harry Styles, Joey Badass, King Princess, Lil Nas X, Miley Cyrus, Nelly, One Direction, Pharrell Williams, Pink Floyd, Rosalia, The Internet, Tyler the Creator, etc. So just think of these as molded image, okay? These are literally doll, and they're animated by whatever it is, okay? Whatever spirits. Okay, so of course, Hood by Hair. So just like the Hood by Air, just like in the beginning of that presentation, I've shown the famous exhibition that was presented by Kanye West. So you had the doll on the table, and they had a machinery inside of them that looks like they were breathing. So it's really the image of a serpent doll that looks alive. And think of the AI sex machine called Harmony, and it's in the image of Barbie, okay, because Barbie is the tool. So sometimes you see they have people playing the star, they have des doublures, and also sometimes you're just looking at a machine or a robot performing, and you pay $200 to see a robot perform.
Now put your hands up in the club. Just woke up. I'm doing my own little thing. Single ladies, now put your hands up in the club.
Acting up, drinking my cup. I can care less what you think.
That's a deception. Also, what's interesting here, so we've talked of the astral world, the astronaut. Now think of the VMA TV. So here we have, I can't remember her name, but she plays the role of Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian. Karol G, yeah. So she's a mermaid. So let's read this article by Glamour. So she went to the VMA as a mermaid Barbie, because we know that we're talking about water spirits, also known as les Astartés. This was in 2023. Karol G was one of many celebrities, including Doja Cat, Shakira, Olivia Rodrigo, and many others, to walk the pink carpet at the 2023 MTV Music Video Awards. So it says a lot when we tell you that her look stood out among the crowd. So Barbie and mermaid goes together, and a mermaid is a star, okay? A star meaning in androgyne, so both men and female, but a demon, in other words. Karol G complemented the look with a long, dramatic cape. It's also worth mentioning her glam, which flattered the tone of her hair. This time, she wore a newly retouched bubble gum pink color with a wet finish. So think of all of these descriptions as codes, okay? Because they use fashion in order to conform the mass. So her face always with a glowy effect, shown thanks for the blush that match her hair, and the whole color palette at the event for that matter. The effect of mermaid core meets Barbie core look that we'll be thinking about for a long time. Glamour, September 2023. So see the astronauts, see the flag? So astronaut means to be led astray. It means to be in deception. This is from the same carpet at the VMAs 2023. So this was Nicki Minaj wearing the pink. So see, it's like sort of lingerie, okay? Lingerie. And the focus is really in between the two legs, okay? This is for a reason, because their god is the Baphomet, Moloch, in other words, Satan. So this is I can't remember her name, the name of that person. And this is what we call Sweetie. And remember the mermaid ritual, okay? The FFing, the ing ritual, which cause HIV. Okay. So this is Prince, okay? He's no this one has a purple, of course, outfit. So once again, okay, the between the two legs is revealed. Okay, this is for a reason. So his name is Prince Derek Doll. So Doll, Idol, September 12. And of course, it's in reference to Prince, the artist Prince, and the purple rain. So see the guitar and the purple attire. Yes, the song Purple Rain was released in 1984 by Warner Bros. So war. But just think about it. So Purple Rain, what they mean by that is dominion, a kingdom, but the kingdom of Satan, not the kingdom of God. And remember when Jesus Christ was taken to the cross, he was wearing a crown, a fake crown, and he was also wearing a purple attire, because he's the king of the Jewish. Okay, so this is the symbol of Prince. So this is literally Saturn, so both male and female intertwine, and that's why they're pushing this transgender agenda to the youth. So in order to make the youth not able to reproduce, to destroy their reproduction system, so that the prosperity of the serpent can expand and be in majority on earth. Okay, so of course this is like the evil eye in some shape or form. Okay, so this same symbol was brought up into an interview on December 10 in 1999, so reverse 666. So it was Prince, okay, Rogers Nelson, had an interview with CNN with Larry King. So King, it's not anyway. So it was released on YouTube in April 2016. So Larry asked, how do you promote a symbol? And the artist formerly known as, which is Prince, because he changed his name. And we know that for the LGBTQ, when they change their name, it's like formerly known as, okay? So you have now a new name. So what we found is that throughout the world, if you cut this up and show it to people, what they think of it, they will say Prince. So that's the power of a symbol and even a logo. So Larry, can you tell us what it so Larry asked, can you tell us what it signifies? And the artist formerly known as Prince, it's always more of the female and the male symbol together, so intertwined. Think of Prince as Prince, his name was Prince, then the artist, then the symbol, then the artist formerly known as. So call from Cambridge, Mass. How does your closest friends call you? The formerly artist known as, he says, they call him baby, like Babylon, baby brother, honey, and think of Queen Bee, honey, the queen. Okay, anyway. Squiggle, I don't know what it means. The media plays a big part in one's perception of me until someone sits down and actually talks to me. They can't really know me. Of course, Prince, okay? Think of the prince of power of air in the Bible, which is Satan, okay? And air meaning like air television, the air, the radio air, the waves, the spirit around, the spirit of destruction, in other words, Satan. So it leads to destruction. So this photo reminds me of a test. I don't know why I put test, reference test. Anyway, in the back, you see, that looks like a Colisée in Rome, Italy. The amphitheatre entertainment. In ruins now. And the amphitheatre was made for the gladiators. So for a gladiator that were considered as entertainers. And they were like killing themselves, and people, the public would be entertained by that. And most of the time, they use prisoners killing themselves. So it's just like in the television, in the box, when they do boxing or even sports, football américain or basketball. It's like this mindset of competing with your own people, you know? So black killing black. And the others are being entertained by that. So we kill each other and the others are entertained. And when I say black, Indian, indigenous, the Israelites killing the Israelites. Because of course we're under a spell. We have been hypnosis into believing that the enemy is flesh. When God says we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. Then, okay, so this is Rihanna performing Lift Me Up. Okay, so this is from the Oscars 2023. So she was performing while pregnant on a Sunday because they give glory to the sun. And this was music made for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So see les choristes, the musician. I think the stage is really beautiful, but see here, that looks like the amphitheatre, the same amphitheatre we see here in the back. And the amphitheatre is like shaped, or it was built as a prison. So everyone around, and the court in the middle was where the the fight was happening. Okay, the killing was happening. Just like when you think of the blocks, okay, the blocks in the ghettos, generally you have in the middle of the blocks, you have a court where everyone can play. And from above, you can see everyone has access to that court. So it's like in the inside of the building. I don't know if that makes sense or if I explain it very well, but anyway. Yeah, so this is her on stage. So notice the black gloves, the sort of lingerie outfit. So yeah, the amphitheater. Okay, see in the middle? It's like everyone is living in they're like, well, in that case, it's a amphitheater, so everyone is sitting. But the blocks, it's like everyone that lives here have access to the middle. So it's le Colisée, also known as Colosseum. Si Colon. Anyway, it's also known as amphitheater, located in the center of the city of Rome. It was designed as a prison and used as an entertainment for the public, watching Indian prisoners or gladiator contestant killing themselves. It was the early design of sports that we know of today and Olympics. So we know that sports and Olympics, they give glory to Saturn. And I've shown like in the basketball court or the soccer court, you notice the Saturn logo in the middle. And the Olympians are the spirits, the 5 Santeria spirits. This scene of the music video, the young boy, okay, because they're targeting the kids. Now, for the young boy, that reminds me of the story of Jessie. So he was living in the hood, so hood designed for the Indians people. And it's like your own selling drug to you. It's like we're like literally killing ourselves, or we agree to kill ourselves. Next thing you know, your brother passed away from that same drug you sold in the neighborhood, you know? Okay, so transaction, drug dealer, and of course, this is perfect for them to now have a reason to arrest you, to bring you into the prison. So think of Prison Break in 2005, the TV series of 2 seasons. And then there's also Orange is the New Black that was released in 2013. This one was for women. And this one has 7 seasons. So prison as a social experiment, because the whole city is a prison. But now when you come in prison, like behind the cells, now you're like you have like literally no rights. They do whatever they want. But of course, God has the authority. God is sovereign. But this is the design of these cities, also known as les réserves indiennes. Okay, so let's read the plot of Orange is the New Black. Orange is the New Black. What does that mean? If we take a moment to just think about this title, that's crazy. Okay, so Orange Suit, the plot. So Piper Chapman, lol. A 33 years old, so think of Jesus who was 33, woman living in New York City, who is sentenced 15 months in Litchfield Penitentiary, a minimum security federal prison in the upstate New York. She was convicted of transporting a suitcase full of drug money for her girlfriend, Alex Voss, an international drug smuggler. So this is Alex. So Orange is the New Black, so it has to do with drugs. So it's like the entertainment that is run by the fake Jew, the synagogue of Satan, is promoting drug. You find that people take drug and sell drug, and that these same people who sold it to you are the ones who will arrest you. So that's literally the scheme, okay? And even now, drugs was illegal, so they just took the business out of the street, and now the government is the one having dominion over drug. Even when you think of the cashless society, so there won't be any cash anymore. So every transaction will be filtered through an online system or a banking system. Okay, so now these are the mugshots. So when you think of a selfie, what is a selfie truly? And selfie, selfish. Then see, it's like they're posing like models. So they are making being a prisoner, seducing people into thinking that it's not that bad to go to prison, or comment dire ça? They're glamorizing. Yes, exactly. They're glamorizing prison. So there's a reason why. So that's why you also see most of your favorite celebrities, they have a casier judiciaire. And these people do not exist, okay? These are like actors, or these are like demons. I don't know what this is. Sometimes even AI. But these are made up characters in order to influence the indigenous. So the indigenous also includes the Spanish people, okay? The Dominicans, the Venezuelans, I don't know if that exists. But anyway, so see here, the tattoos are ridiculous. So she has a wolf tattoo. So think of the wolf in sheep clothing. Then he has sort of like a demon, and 6ix9ine is literally yin yang. That's the same thing. And I do believe this guy is in reality gasolina, gasolina. What's his name again? Man, I can't remember, but he was singing that song. So Kai Cenat, who's a streamer, did the same. So he did a series that was like a being in jail experiment. So there is a reason why they do that. It's like a social experiment, but also to influence the people, to let them know that it's not that bad to be in prison. We can add humor to that, but these are like serious stuff, okay? It's like when you're in prison, you're like missing out. If you have kids, you're not able to see them grow. If you have a wife, it's like you're missing out, okay? Look at their uniform. So the white tee, this looks like les dickies. And then the wave cap, okay, les camisoles blancs. These are literally like fascist fashion. And how many of people you know of today that you can think of who wears les camisoles blanches and the joggings? It's literally like a prison uniform. Okay, because fashion is used as a weapon. So, of course, I can't remember his name from the Island Boy. These are all made-up characters. Then Blueface, made-up characters, coming with his chain. And these chains are like the chain you use to attach a very aggressive dog. So just think about that. So this is not a flex per se. Then R. Kelly, who really plays the role of LeBron James too. And he went to... They all have like different cases, but R. Kelly per se went for pedophilia. Then, of course, A$AP Rocky wearing the fashion, the gel fashion. So think of the Dickies, the orange, the Nike, okay, Nike, which also is a representation of Ovo Moloch. So then California, the Snoop Dogg. So who lets the dogs out? Who? So he's wearing Dickies. So Dickies is also part of the prisoner or the workers' uniform. Then here we have Dat Brat wearing a Dickies in 1994. And this is like a tomboy, a woman, not a woman. So this agenda was from way before. Then here, Diera, a YouTube influencer, so-called. She's wearing a salopette, okay? And salopette was known, it's like a fashion made for the workers, okay? She's wearing the Timberland, okay, the bandana. This is the fashion of prisoners, in other words. So the same, let's read about the Dickies. So this was made for the workers. So Dickies is a work clothes. Dickies is made of 65% polyester, 35% cotton, so very cheap. A plain 12 fabric, durable, resistant, and does not crease, slim and straight fit. So see the hats, see the uniform. So they play on the fit. So it's like for every worker. So it's for the gentleman, it's for the policeman, it's for the workers in construction. And this one, I don't know. What is this? Anyway. Match uniforms are made from select work clothes fabrics, including famous army. Oh, okay. Used in the army too. Okay, no, these are, I do believe, the colors. Natural fitting, shoulder shape, wrinkle free, ta-da-da. Okay. So, of course, the Dickies, the Timberland. Okay, Timberland also. And Timberland, think of the land where there's giants, just like in, or the land of bondage, New York, Canada, the Indian Reserve. So I used to think that wearing Timberland was a flex, but it is not. And remember, it's attached to the Phoenician coins, okay? And the Phoenicians are also known as Mexicans. Some people don't know that, but the Mexicans are in reality black people. The Phoenicians are black people. And even some Egyptians most of the Egyptians are in reality black people. There are more black people than you think of. And when I say black, I mean like color-wise, okay? Sort of couleur de rein. Okay, so this is A$AP Rocky for High Snob Bitey. Anyway. Okay, so here, this is also the salopette is the same uniform that Mario is wearing. And Mario is a character that sort of make fun of the Jewish with an Italian accent. But what's important is the nose, okay? And think of the M, the West India Company. So Timberland. So the overall salopette. So Mario was a plumber. So this is literally like the fashion of a plumber. So I don't know what's the flex of wearing a salopette. And it sort of looks childish, honestly. Then the same salopette, which is also a prisoner or worker outfit. So Tupac did the same with the fashion. So he's wearing a Dickies salopette. And he has the stripes in horizontal. The same stripe that we use for prisoners too. They also have sort of this uniform, but it's very less common now. Prisoners, you see the bottom that looks like Doc Marten, which also we see the same stripes with Madonna and Jean-Paul Gaultier for the Fashion Week in 1992 in Paris. So Jean-Paul Gaultier is sort of wearing, it's not really a salopette, okay, per se, but it sort of looks like a clown outfit or prisoner's outfit. And you can even think of the McDonald clown who has the exact same sort of outfit, but instead the colors are yellow and red. And Doc Marten, think of the dock quand tu stationnes your boat and then you arrive to the dock. Okay, that's literally that. But you can also think of canard because they use the image of the canard for some reason. So think of the mugshot. So most of these very famous artists are like sort of all have a casier judiciaire. But the thing is, these are like fake people. So that means that having a casier judiciaire or not doesn't mean anything for them, okay? But it's selling the perception that you can be a criminal and still be like mainstream successful. And that's sort of a lie because you just end up in prison, okay? So, of course, I need to bring Notorious B.I.G. dice while wearing the Timberland, rolling dice while wearing Timberland boots. So dice playing in order to make money. Okay, this deception. When God says you have to work. So this is the same Mario shoes. Okay, in New York, it's very popular. So Timberland. Okay, so like many of the blue collar, I can't read. Timberland rose from its working class origins to eventually be adopted by the fashion or fascists and the music elite. The boot that ultimately transcend class and cross a racial divide to become a wardrobe essential deserves a deep dive. Timberland, a New England company, was made by and for white workers and was eventually, by way of Brooklyn, commodified by a markedly different constituency. Though Timberland at first resisted, the boot once made for work would become most famous for its role in rap. It's all made up. So this is the fashion of prisoners, workers, people who follows the fascist, okay? And I know that sometimes it's out of ignorance. So once again, B.I.G. also has a casier judiciaire, the same goes, and also 50 Cent. And his name is Jackson Curtis. Think of Jackson 5. So these are all made up characters, okay? So they influence the youth, the Indian people, the Israelites to do just like them. But we follow them without knowing that these people do not exist. They make you seem that being a brigand is cool, but in reality it is not. And you pay the real consequences. And it's always involving drugs, gunshot, violence, slur, and okay, so this is Jay-Z. mugshot, so profile, and the front or selfie. Travis Scott, the same. Kodak Black, the same. Then also Malcolm X, the same. His mugshot was taken in 1944. So it's like these are like very influential people, but they all have a casier judiciaire. So it's like, are you trying to tell me that I need to follow this path? Are these our role models, you know? Are all these like just stage up characters, demons, in other words? That looks like us, wolf in sheep clothing. So this is once again XXX Sensation with the mugshot also. Then we have Anneli Choppa, who plays in the Empire. He's Hakim in Empire, the TV show. And then we have Chief Keef doing the tongue out, the smirk of the serpent from the garden. Then we have also Nicki Minaj, who has a mugshot, so-called Nicki Minaj. And this is JT from City Girls, also with the mugshot. And please notice the nose. It's like, these looks like a experimentation or exploration. Yeah. Think of the Sphinx. Yeah, the Sphinx. Okay, so let's read about Prison Break. So... okay, so I'll read the plot, but think of the tattoos. Okay, so Lincoln Burroughs is accused of murdering the vice president's brother, and he's sentenced to death. He is incarcerated in Fox River State Penitentiary, waiting for his execution, so X. Lincoln's brother, a brilliant structural engineer, Michael Scofield, and you know, like structural engineer, think of the cities, the way they're structured, the buildings, the blocks, the hood, and all hood have a McDonald's sign, fast food, and all of these have a Chinatown, and that's an indication that we are in Mesopotamia or in the land of Shinar, okay, Babylon. And also most of hoods have a shopping center, especially here in Montreal. It's like every quartier have a shopping center, and with the same stores, Walmart, etc. Yes, and the architecture, I've shown the image of the movie Metropolis with the condos, the towers, which all are made to glorify Moloch. Okay, to gain access to Fox River, Michael commits an armed robbery, which results into him being sentenced to Fox River. So from the inside, his brother is now able to figure out a way to release his brother. So, yes. So we think of the prison, but in reality, the prison is the city itself. The prison is the city itself. So I spoke of Mexico as being the Phoenicians, okay, timberland. So think of them crossing the borders. So this is the scene, physical, but there's a physical border, yes, but there's also a spiritual border. Just like the astral world, just like Bugs Bunny, who comes from a astral world, just like the cover of Beyonce for the music Chic on It. And just like the BLM, Black Lives Matter, we were literally chanting to demons in order for them to come into our realm. So illegals, some of them are invaders, fake illegals, in other words, meaning like demons, you know, demons in sheep clothing. Okay, so that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and the next one will be Antichrist being the last episode, at least the birth of the Antichrist. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. So I do have music on sale on my jessieemileboutique.com that you can buy, purchase. Also, I have Babylon in Hidden Side, another web series that is attached that inspired that one, this web series. And finally, I also have a new song that is out titled Je suis le meilleur ami. I should have it linked, but yeah. Okay, so have a nice one and see you on the last episode, which will be the birth of the Antichrist. Okay, because we are in the last day, so cover yourself with the blood of Jesus.
Jésus le meilleur ami, il est Jésus le meilleur ami. Jésus